Hey guys, welcome to Bar Z. My name's Stan, and as promised, we're going to do part two of our parallels for the grind. First up, this video is going to run long, but there's a lot of grinder action. I didn't cut the grinder action. You guys love seeing the sparks fly, so we're going to let the sparks fly. First up, we heat treated. I am going to fast forward through this. And next up, we washed them. Clean all the hardening scale off and give them a quick scrub. And I fast forwarded through that. And next up, we're going to stack them up and temper them.
Okay, so we're going to take a known flat true surface, which in this case is a vice jaw, and I'm just going to stack up all the parallels that just came out of hardening in between it, and we're going to sandwich them all in there. And here, let me power through this. We're just cleaning and stacking them up, and we're going to clamp them securely and take them to an oven and put them in at 400 degrees for about 2.5 3 hours. It's 1 hour per inch of thickness.
Off to tempering. and I powered through that as well. Next up, we're going to check them. We're going to get them out of temper, and we're going to unpack them and see what's good and what's bad. Tomorrow is today, and we've tempered our parallels. Let's get some room going here. And these were just clamped in between a couple of ice jaws. Just to pin them down straight and to straighten out any stragglers. When I did clamp them in, I noticed that a couple of them had a little warp to them. I'm hoping this is straightening them out. We're going to check them on the surface plate. Sorry for the table wiggle. Now these went into an oven at 400 for 3 hours. It's an hour per inch of thickness. So yeah, we had to heat up all this mass. And we had them pretty clean before we put them away. We scrubbed each one with a wire brush and cleaned them up really good. And before I hardened them, we had deburred our cuts right here. And right now we're trying to detect any rock. And there's that smell. God, I love that smell. My wife hates it, but I kind of like it. So far, no rock has been detected, so these things should grind up pretty nice. We're just going to give these a light face grind just to clean them up, remove the scale, and just clean them up on both sides. But I had a couple when they came out of hardening that had just a slow dish to them. And I don't know whether you noticed earlier in the video when we were there, it's got a little rock to it. Not bad though. When they were going into the oil, they go in knife edge like this, down in the oil, and then they get moved through the oil like this, never side to side. You create an air pocket behind it. If you're swishing it side to side, you can create an air pocket behind it and cool one side quicker than the other, and that'll cause you to warp. I don't know if you can hear that, but that's got a little bit of movement. Let's set that one to the side for measuring. That one's got a little bit too. Make sure we don't have anything down on the plate. Make sure nothing's on here. That could be a burr on one of these things that I missed. Yeah, I got a high spot right there. If you look down that thing, lens, I'm looking for lens. You look down that thing sure looks straight. We'll set it to the side for checking. Nothing detected. Detecting something there. Nothing detected. Nothing detected. detected. Nothing detected. Nothing detected. There's something going on with this one. And that one you can see, or I can see. See kind of that top edge. It's got a slow sweep to it. This one actually may have to go back in the oven. See how it's spinning? If I flip it, it doesn't spin like that. So it tells me this center's got a high spot. And I can feel it oil canning down. Now if I was to put this on the mag, what it would do is it would suck down. The mag would pull it down, I'd grind it flat, and as soon as I release it, it would pop right back up. Nothing detected. Nothing detected. That was a little high in the middle too. Not much. Yeah, you can feel it bowing down in the center. Alright, so we'll put a gauge on these. It's let's see, it's 248s, 146, and 247s. So we'll go through these and see how bad they are. You know, if they're out more than a few thousandths, we'll probably put them back in the oven and clamp them in there again and let them go for another couple hours, clamped in between a couple of known flat surfaces. All right. Okay, so we got a couple of bad ones. Those are going to get clamped again and go back in the oven and straighten them out. I think there was only 3 or 4 that were ungrindable, but easily fixable in a low temp oven. So they're going to go back in at 400, and we actually use cooking foil as spacers. Cooking foil is about 3 to 4 tenths of a thousandth. So you can use those as shims in between your parallels and impose your will on them. Okay, next up we're gonna face grind them on the first side. So let's get to grinding.
And here we're going to give the wheel a dress, and one of the main reasons I like the white wheels is you can see when you're cleaning it. If you look at this wheel now, it's really black from the last grinding, and we're going to make a few passes across here with half thousandths down feeds till we start seeing white again. You know, and you can see the wear on the wheel where it's going to make contact and where it doesn't. You can still see a black stripe on there, and we're just going to keep going back and forth till we see all white. And this is the way I dress wheels, and it's a good indicator to see when you've got your wheel flat and true again, and you've gotten rid of all those little black streaks. And when you're passing across slowly, you're cleaning the wheel very thoroughly. And if you want a very coarse dress, your very last dress, just crank that cross feed as hard as you can, and that'll put kind of a spiral in it and give the wheel some grooves and give it some holding ability where it can fill up with junk and still expose the cutting surfaces. So we're pretty happy with that. It's still got a little bit of darkness to it on one edge, but we're okay with that. We're just going to do some rough grinding on the faces of these parallels. Now that the wheel's dressed, we're going to pull it out and give the plate a sweep down and get all the dust and everything off of it from our dress. And I should mention that I do leave the spindle running, but I am always extremely aware of where the wheel is, and I park the table as far away as I possibly can before wiping it down with my hands. Here we're applying a small amount of WD, just a few drops, to the table surface, and we're going to come back with a 600 grit diamond card and just check for high spots. Just rub it lightly, and if you've got a high spot or a nick or something, you'll feel it right away, and then you can work it over and get it flat again. But here we're happy, and now we're going to wipe it down with a lint free and put our parts on. Now, up until this point, we've been doing about half thousands down feeds between 4/10 and 0.5 down feeds, and now it's time to start dusting it, and we're going to remove some of the scalloping from these heavy cuts. So we're going to come back and do a 2/10 down feed and pass front to back, and then again back to front, and these are going to be our finals. And at that point, this side is finished. I'm not going to show you doing the other side. Basically, we just put a final on this side, take the parts out, clean them, wash them really good, clean down the plate like I showed you, flip them over, and do the other side just so they clean up. And that's it's just more of the same. And I know this was long, and I didn't power through it because you guys seem to like the grinding portion of it. So these are on a final right now on this side. All right.
And now it's time to, we're done with face grinding. We're happy with the way they look. And now it's time to get an indexing surface and our first surface to make parallels parallel. So let's grind that first surface. Okay, well we've taken our parallels and we have face ground them just for looks, I guess. But we've face ground them to both sides and we've got them equal to each other. And we're happy there that they're going to lay flat and everything. And now what we're going to do is grind them to spec, and that's the height. You know, that's all that's left is just this height right here. And so we're going to take the factory edge, and I made reference to that when I first started out. We're going to take the factory edge, which was the ground Starrett stock, and we're just going to run it over the bench stone, just to eliminate any high spots. We're going to run it at a kind of a 45 this way, kind of a 45 this way to break any wire edges, and give it a clean. And we're going to stack these up very similar to the way we did when we were milling them. And we've cleaned our bench stone. This is just a 600 grit diamond stone, and we're going to just give give our mag plate a little deburr there, make sure there's nothing on it. And now we're going to take our first block. If you've dropped one of your 1, 2, 3 blocks or a parallel or anything and you run it across a stone and there's a high spot there, man, you're going to feel it right away. All right, so we're just going to put our first one right up there. And now we're going to find our factory edge, which is here. Yep. So we're going to take our factory edge and we're going to place it down against the plate. We're gonna grind the non-factory edge first, the side that I machined, and we're gonna continue this and do this 6 times, and clean each one individually. Remove wire edge and give it a flat stoning. All right, so there's our second one. And we're avoiding any crunchies in between. Want to make sure we're all clean, clean, clean. After I face ground these, I oiled them, so that pretty much attracts every speck of dirt in the shop after you get them oiled. 45, 45. Just give it a quick inspect. We're happy. It's 3. And these are the 46 millimeter parallels. And again, that looks like the milled side. It is. There we go. Two more to go. Get the oil off of them. And this was a brand new lint free when I started. And this is to give you an idea how much junk you do just from honing and cleaning the plate, and just stay as clean as you can and treat this just like you would surface plate work. And we're going to talk more about wire edges here in a little while. After I get these ground top and bottom, we're going to show you how even grinding can roll over that wire edge. I know we talked about it in the first video when we're milling and filing, but it happens when you're grinding too. And the wire edges are actually very sharp, because after I grind this, man, those 90-degree corners are just, you could shave with them. So we have to knock those edges off too, and that's even more of a micro level. I think we got a factory edge down here. Yep. I'm going to break that other wire edge over there, if there's any there. So all we're doing is getting the high spots off so we can sit down flat. And what we're going to do first is just establish these just so that they're all equal. And we're going to be creeping up on our size, which is 46 millimeter. And the next, after we flip them, when we go to turn them over and do the final grind on the other side, that's when we start measuring. If you recall back in the milling, these are 0.3 of a millimeter over, or 0.3 millimeter over. All right, so we're square, we're flat, we're down. We're going to turn the magnet on. Okay, now we're going to do the same thing. We need to get it from this mag over to the surface grinder, I mean, this is just handy on the bench for setup and things like that, but we're gonna go ahead and clamp here and here, and then let's get it over to the mag and on the surface grinder and get ready to grind this sucker. And now we're going to flip and repeat. All right, now we're pretty happy with the results. The grind's good. Let's mic them and see where we're at with them. Okay, and we're back from the surface grinder, and we made our final adjustment. We what we did is we started on one side, just ground it till it was clean, and we got them out of the surface grinder, washed everything, cleaned it really good, stoned the freshly ground side. And then we flipped them, and then just we ground them again till they were clean, and then we took them off the machine to get a good measurement, because now we've got a nice measuring surface, and we were able to make an adjustment, and I had 12 thousandths to pull out of it. I don't know what that equates to in millimeters. I'm not a millimeter guy. But thank goodness for dual function dial calipers that I can just press a button and switch back and forth from inches to millimeters. And I'm happy with my final here. And here, let me clean my anvils here real quick. And this one's been stoned and done. And I'm hoping you can see that display right there. That's at one end. Let me get over to the other end. That was 46003. I'm going to do the opposite end. And there you're at 46001. Now, I don't know what that equates to in imperial, but we're going to take it over on the surface plate and find out. I'm going to check each one with a micrometer after they come off the grinder. The edge that we just finished up here, we want to remove that wire edge, and we're just kind of running it at a 45 and just knocking that corner off. And then we'll wipe them down one last time, get them over on the surface plate. And then our final is to check them for parallelism. But each one's going to get stoned like this, mic'd, and then we'll inspect it for parallelism. Okay, I'll bring you back for that. Well, that's pretty pleasing. Let's take them over to the surface plate and check them for parallelism, because an unparalleled parallel is pretty much just a chunk of metal. So let's go see how parallel these things really are. Okay, I hope you guys can appreciate this, and I hope that GoPro's in focus, because I got it set up on the tower here. Now I'm going to get it adjusted for my first one. I'm just going to hold them up against this angle block, and let me get my first one set up here. I'm looking for about a 1,000th preload, so let me zero this thing out right here. See if we're happy there. Yeah, we're happy there. Okay, we can run all 6 like this. I'm just going to take and kind of shove these things through. They should snap up at right about 0. I'm just a tad below. Make sure my screws are tight. Okay, let's run this through. And we're just checking for parallelism right now. All right. So number 1, we're happy. Let's get our next one. Here comes the next one. Okay, 10th below. And sliding across. It's pretty much staying a 10th below all the way across. So we know those two are within a 10th of each other. This is doing 2 things. This is checking them for comparison, see if they're the same size, and it is also checking them for parallelism. Here comes another one. 10th below. So all these are plus or minus a 10th. So that's 3. So we're 3 for 3 and we're happy. And here comes another one. Right on 0. And just pass it across. Same thing within a 10th. Okay, 4 for 4. 1/10 below. And then we're just going to pass it through gently. So you don't even really have a tenth of variation. There's 5 for 5. And here we are on the home stretch. We got the last one. This one's about almost 2/10 below. But she holds good at parallel wise. So we're within a tenth on all these, and we're pretty happy. So we've got there's a match set of 46 millimeters. So these are done. These are going to get packed in oil and wrapped up. I got to do this 2 more times, and this order is complete. And now we're back from that. So we're pretty happy. Those turned out really good. They're on size, and we've got them nice and parallel. And we think our end user, Hirinen, is going to be very happy with these things. So that's the end of grinding parallels. It's not too difficult. Clean your work. Treat everything like surface plate work, and your results will be good. I appreciate you guys watching. I know this video ran long, and your time is very valuable to you. But I appreciate you sticking to the end. All right, guys. Thanks for watching.